was the son of a pizza man, the only boy.
Ready?
Hey guys, Enzo here, SonofaPizzaMan, and today is day 29 of 30 of Veda. And I thought today we would kind of talk about something a little more heavy and more serious than my other videos this month. So this might be a longish video.
Oh.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I just want to talk about weight and my struggle with weight, and how I always feel like a fat kid. Even though I've gone up and down throughout the years, I was definitely a chunky kid growing up. Growing up in with a pizza man, with having access to food all the time, basically. Whenever I would be like, oh, I'm hungry, my mom would just be like, okay, well, let's go to the pizzeria. Or, I mean, she would make food, obviously, but we would take lots of trips to the pizzeria, and I would, have free reign over everything. So, pizza, cheesesteaks,
Pizza.
soda, lots of soda.
Lots of soda.
Which is funny because I don't drink soda now as an adult. I don't really gravitate towards that. But anyway, I was really chunky, and then I had my tonsils out, and then I lost some weight. Or right before, is it when you have like tonsillitis or whatever, you're like always sick. I was sick a lot, and I dropped a bunch of weight, and then I had them out, and then I gained weight again. In grade school, I was definitely one of the heaviest kids in the whole school, from grades 5 through 8. I was over 200 pounds as an 8th grader, which is big. And I got teased a lot. I got called names and all that stuff. So weight, and even throughout my adult life, I have tried to lose weight. I've done Weight Watchers multiple times. I've just tried losing weight on my own, and with varying degrees of success. And I continue to struggle with weight to this day. And yeah, I feel I'm at a point, and I feel like I get to this point once every year or so, or a couple of years, where I'm like, I feel gross, and I feel chunky and slow and unattractive, and just like I don't like the way I look in the mirror, and clothes don't lie. So when you put on your shirts, especially, you can definitely tell when you've gained weight, lost weight. So I feel like I'm at a point where I'm gonna probably figure something out as far as like how to lose some weight. It's the end of April. Summer's right around the corner. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be a sweaty Betty more than I am normally. And I think it just having like added weight would definitely not be cute. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're also experiencing some kind of weight issues, right?
I've always been really skinny. That was my thing. Was like I was never, like, I always had a really high metabolism as a kid. So I was really bony and really, really skinny, and that was kind of my vibe throughout school. I don't think that I was like picked on for being skinny, really, but it definitely was a thing where I think I was more picked on because I was like everyone else seemed to know that I was gay, even though like I didn't. But yeah, I think like my thing for a long time was like when I got older was just like I never like really focused on my body or trying to be like in shape necessarily, because I just kind of did. And now that I'm like getting older, like my metabolism is slowing quite a bit, and so now I'm like getting into like getting in my late 30s. It's harder and harder to keep that weight off, and just to like maintain the weight that I have sort of been for a while, and sort of kind of to like figuring out how to love my, you know, my blossoming kind of dad bod or whatever, and get into, you know, and not giving myself a hard time for it, but also trying to figure out like how to be healthy but also be comfortable at the same time is a really hard balance. And also, like, you know, you get into a relationship and you get really comfy, and then you start doing things like just like not giving a going to the gym all the time, or like other things take precedence over that, such as like having a social life.
Yeah, I mean, and also I feel like your weight depends on your relationship with food. Like food for me is very comforting, and I know it's like that for a lot of people, but I definitely turn to it for comfort, and it makes me feel good, and that's something that I need to kind of address, and I'm trying to address. And
yeah,
and I know exercise is part of it, obviously.
Yeah, exercise is a big part of it, and so that's a big thing for me.
But I feel like you have to do both. You can't do one or the other. I feel like they have to work like in conjunction with each other. No,
absolutely not. But your your body is going to, you know. Yeah, I mean, the deficit that you have to create to be able to like really lose weight becomes harder, especially when you're eating food and not doing anything.
Right.
So yeah, I have been trying to like be more active starting near the end of this past winter, trying to ride my bike more, which I used to do a lot more, and now I'm doing it back on it and trying to do it, you know, most days of the week. And even then, it's still hard, you know. It's just different. But you know, I think also, like, you know, within the gay community, there's like very much a focus on being really fit, and
I mean, I agree with that. But
I think the dad bod thing is becoming like a lot hotter, but I also think that has to do with our age group too. Like, I think that like, as we're aging out of the kind of like twink scene and kind of aging into this kind of like young cub, you know, we were just talking last night about like some friends of ours saying like, oh, do you guys feel like you're daddies? And we're like, no, we're not daddies, but like we're both pushing 40, some closer to others.
I'm pushing 40.
And we both have like gray in our beards and our hair, some of it on purpose, some of it not, some of it not, and you, so you know, yeah, and that's part of it too, is like realizing that like your body is changing and you're like kind of going through
the change.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think going back to the acceptance in the gay community about with body type, I feel like the bear body type is a lot more accepted these days. I guess it's kind of going along with the whole dad bod thing, but it's not as, I don't think it's as important to be in super good shape necessarily, because the bear community is so much more prevalent now, I feel like, or it's more like,
yeah, but like that's the thing too, is like that community is not like, it's not, there's a spectrum, there's like,
yeah, of course there is.
And also it's also regional too, like we're in the Midwest, so you know, we're in Chicago loves eating, everything's got to have
drinking.
And drinking, yeah, lots of drinking, lots of beer, and that's great. That stuff is great. It's really fun. But finding that balance or whatever is, you know, of like eating, having fun, and doing those kinds of things, and not overeating, even though like everything is telling you that you have to eat all the.
Right. Well, it's.
And like even the fact that like we like, and sometimes, I mean, because we're together, even though I'm not like necessarily doing it, it's like eating as a hobby is like is like eating as like a thing that you do on the weekends or whatever as like as like a social activity.
Yeah, for sure.
Is
it's
weird.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard not to do that though, because it's that like peer pressure thing. It's like if you're out with a group of people and everyone is like eating and drinking, you're probably not gonna be the oddball out and be like, I'm just gonna have some water and be fine. So there is like a pressure, I guess, to engage in that kind of activity. And like you said, unfortunately, we're a very foodie, drinky city.
Yeah, and we don't even interact with that scene that much, but it's just like when you go out, that's what you do.
And I think the key to not overdo it is just moderation. And I personally have a hard time with moderation.
I do too. I mean, I feel like I come from college when it was like, you know, I feel like I still have this college mentality of like, if there's food in front of me, like I need to eat all of it because otherwise it's like wasting food. And, you know, so I'm like really into just like leftovering the everything. And which you are not.
Well, no, I'm an only child, and I don't know where I got my shoveling food into my mouth until it hurts. Mentality came from, because I didn't have siblings that I had to like fight for food for or anything like that. But I think.
Yeah.
I blame. I'm gonna blame my culture and my background for that, as far as like, I mean, my grandmother and my mom and my dad just like constantly like shoving food in my face and being like, eat, and I don't know. I feel like it's just something that's always stuck with me, and I just I also don't. I'm also, you know, I don't like cold food. If it's meant to be hot, I don't want it. So that's why I like eat stuff pretty quickly, because, you know, after a certain while it gets kind of gross.
I know, but I mean, my thing too. I mean, I think too, like that there is like something to be said for, I don't know, just like not eating like you have two buttholes. Maybe not ordering like you have two buttholes to begin with. Like, don't order this like massive thing. That's the other thing too, is it's very much like, in America, there's American-sized portions. Everything is massive, and in even the Midwest, even more so. It's like very much about like, if I'm gonna pay money for food, I better be getting a bucket of food. Like, I need to get as much food as possible for my dollar, which makes sense in terms of economics, but doesn't always make sense in terms of like how you're taking care of yourself. So like, having all this food in front of you when you ordered something very simple, and then it's a massive pile of food, and you only eat, like, you got to try to be like, okay, I'm only going to eat half of this. Like, I don't have to finish this. I'm going to stop when I'm full and not be like, I need to kill this entire plate. And that's another thing that I'm having to like do now, is like, I'm having to be mindful of saying like, all right, like, don't eat all this. There'll be more food. Like, like take it home, put it in your refrigerator. You're an adult. You can heat it up later. Like, you don't have to pack this all in. There was a minute there where like a lot of restaurants, it was really hot to do sharing plates. That was the place, and that was the whole thing, was like, we do all tapas. It's a tapas place. It's a, you know, so you're just getting like, oh, I'm gonna like get a little nosh, and I'm gonna get a little this, a little that, which is a really fun way to eat, and is very like, you know, you're just like, you're grazing. It's very European, right? And you're talking about having you're having a decent amount of food, but you're having it over the course of an evening, and you're having it in small things.
You're giving your body a chance to like
digest, and you're drinking, but the drinking is like part of that sort of thing.
There are definitely channels out there that promote
the garbage food,
promote challenge eating, that are like just like mounds and mounds of food that humans are not meant to consume by themselves. I'm not knocking those types of channels necessarily. I think they're entertaining to watch to a degree. But yeah, that's just where we are right now, and
I don't know.
Anyway.
I love eating like, you know, junk food. I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
But it's a tough balance with the kind of food that I review sometimes with you, and that you talk about a lot.
I love food, and I've said that before. I love eating. I mean, food is such an important part of my life, and that's kind of what this channel is about. It's about food and my relationship with food, and so yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back to me being me feeling fat and gross. So yeah, so I don't know. I just wanted to kind of put it out there and kind of talk about it. We kind of went down a weird.
No,
tangent.
I think it's valid in terms of like what you're talking about in terms of how we eat and how the area that we live in we eat and what we engage with in terms of like food as entertainment.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It was meandering, but it's all right.
So I'd love to hear what you think about food in general, and if or like weight. If you struggle with weight, what you think of it. I guess how you handle it, how you attack it, how you deal with it. Do you just not care about how people think of you or your weight? Are you happy? I mean, there are plenty of people that aren't just happy, like being medically, technically overweight, and they're fine, and that's good for them. But I know personally, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel when I'm overweight. So I'd love to hear your feedback. And congratulations, you made it to the end of the video.
You did it.
You survived all 20 minutes. So yeah, one more day of Veda, and then a little break. So thanks, guys, for watching.
Thanks for
watching. And I'm gonna say, subscribe right there. Boop. You feel that? Subscribe, like, you know the drill. And I will see you tomorrow. And until tomorrow, ciao for now.